So the first movie we're talking about today, that's new from the newly in theaters, is The Killer's Game, starring Dave Bautista. Now, the basic plot of The Killer's Game is that Dave Bautista is kind of a lonely assassin who starts getting involved with a young lady reluctantly, only to discover or be told by his doctor that he is dying. And for a whole bunch of reasons that the movie explains, he decides to put out a hit on himself rather than go through a 3-month debilitating illness. And he has some other reasons too, psychological ones, but basically he don't want to go through all that. So they let him go ahead and kill him. Then that's going to start at like midnight. And so this is the first act I'm talking about here. So then midnight, right before, he gets a hurried call from his doctor saying that they mix up the lab results and he actually is not going to die, but he's got several groups of assassins that are planning on taking him out by that point, and you got to try to survive and also perhaps, salvage that relationship, because he kind of sent the woman away because he don't want her to see him get old or be there when he's getting murdered by other professional assassins. And I know you haven't seen this yet, so I'm going to give kind of just a brief impressions, which is that this movie is much better than I expected it to be. I was expecting kind of a straightforward action movie with, it's just premise, which, while, interesting enough, isn't super creative. And it actually had a lot of flair and dramatic kind of or style to the way the story was told. I was surprised by how much mental energy and thought was put into each of the assassins, the relationships between a lot of the different characters. There are a lot of good performances. Dave Bautista, I think this is probably the best role I've seen Dave Bautista in. I've seen him in a couple other things. I haven't been really impressed. This one was like written just for him. The love interest, she does a good job. They got, I believe it's Ben Kingsley plays like his mentor. They've got they've got what's the guy from Friday After Next, black dude from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Terry Crews. He plays one of the assassins. I'm not a huge Terry Crews fan. This is one of the best performances I've seen him in. It's well suited to him. He's cool in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but there's some of the movie roles I thought he hasn't been particularly suited for. But I thought sometimes he comes off almost like wanting too much to get a laugh and like overperforming, like in Next Friday or Friday After Next, I'm sorry, or White Girls. Like those are performances where he's like going extra hard for jokes. It's almost like it's too much. Dial it down a little bit. This one, he seems right in the right place, and I really appreciated his performance as well. So there's a lot of good stuff. I mean, not the other assassins, a lot of good stuff, and yeah, it's a definite recommend for me. So I hope you get a chance to see it. Maybe when it comes out. I think it's going from theaters now, so maybe when it comes out on the streaming or something. But it was a pleasant surprise, and not a big pedigree as far as the creators. The director's only done a few things. The one thing I didn't know is that it's based on a book, and I think that's why they had so much content and so much detail to go in for the movie and to go into each assassin, because they have a resource. It's not just a screenwriter off somewhere writing a 120-page screenplay. They've got a whole novel someone wrote to then extract from, and I find that often can get you some of the best creative works. When you got a wealth of source material to work from. Sometimes screenwriters just do that themselves, but it's nice when there's a novel backing you up, because there's a lot of stuff to pull from that. Yeah.
So I happen to like Terry Crews, but only thing about him is that you kind of get the same thing every time.
Sure.
So it's like, is this could be kind of like the same thing, but it's just kind of, I don't know what to say, but you were able to tolerate it better than his other performances.
Well, it seems better suited. So sometimes it's like what's a good example? Sometimes you have characters people have a certain energy to them when they perform. And in this movie, his energy that he was giving matched the movie. Sometimes I feel like his energy is too much at a different wavelength than the rest of the movie, and he doesn't seem to fit into it. Like, he's fine on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like, it's nothing, I don't dislike Terry Crews. It's just that I feel like sometimes he's cast in roles I think aren't most suited for him. That, like, I thought maybe he's comes across, like in Friday After Next, for example, to me, came across a bit too silly. and those movies are comedies, but like he's one of the antagonists. And so like Debo in the first movie does funny stuff, but he does it all with a straight face. And Terry Crews is there, and he's, you know, he's not really being a jokester, but it's just you can see him like really, I don't know, begging for laughs, but it was over the top a bit much. So sometimes I feel like his performances don't match the movie he's in particularly, but nothing against him. And as I said, in this movie, he's well suited for it. It's like not Matt Damon. Ben Affleck is like that. Ben Affleck actually can act, but some movies he's terrible in. And it's not that it's because he lacks the ability to act. I don't particularly like him, but there's some movies like Gone Girl he's perfectly suited for. He's, you know, and sometimes it's because you're kind of playing yourself a little bit. And I think sometimes you try to stray too much from playing yourself. That's when you can get in trouble. For him, for example,
he's a much better director than he's an actor.
Yes, no, absolutely.
Movies he's directed are pretty awesome.
And I thought for Gone Girl, he worked for it, but I still would have rather they cast somebody else. But he was well suited for that. Like that was right in that zone where he goes. So it's like that. It's like some actors, I'm gonna like them in anything they do, and other people, you're gonna like them in certain things, but not others. And Terry Crews is one of those certain things and not others types of movies. Whereas Bruce Willis, I've liked him almost everything he's ever been in, unless the movie is just terrible. But I haven't said, oh man, I wish they cast Bruce Willis by somebody else. You know, like it's everything he's been in. I've liked his performance, unless it was just a bad movie. Like a lot of the recent ones, they were kind of taking advantage of him when he was, you know, kind of getting a little bit dementia. But yeah, so yeah, this is I think it's an excellent movie. I gave it an 8. You know, it's not a classic, but it's definitely well recommendable. And you know, I was pleasantly surprised. I look forward to kind of watching it again on streaming when I get a chance. Like it's those movies I really want to watch again to kind of see what I missed and see how well it holds up, all that kind of good stuff. Thanks for watching this clip from Only the Real Movie Podcast. Please like and consider subscribing to Low Key Classic Movies, and look out for the next episode of Only the Real Movie Podcast coming at the end of every month. Check out a full podcast or maybe one of these clips or another video from Low Key Classic Movies.